So it's not just about a political regime. This kind of started in the 1980s, it grew in the 1990s, and it's continued to expand until 2022 when the Taliban imposed this ban. And they imposed a ban also in 2000 and 2001.
Wait, they imposed a ban?
Yeah.
On poppy?
That's right, yeah.
Really?
So, I mean, there's a kind of deep irony that for 30 odd years, there's been this Western kind of infrastructure around trying to eradicate opium production in Afghanistan. With, billions of dollars thrown at this on the war on drugs, and that's involved attempts to eradicate the poppy, to interdict it as it crosses borders, to create alternative livelihoods, to support the judiciary in bringing to account the traders and the corrupt officials are involved. All of these things have been tried and failed. And then in 2001, the Taliban imposed an opium edict, and they were successful, very brutal, in kind of bringing down production to a very, very low level, almost completely ended. And then there was the invasion by the US in 2001, and there was a huge rebound effect because, I mean, the ban meant that prices had gone up tenfold. So there were strong incentives to kind of restart, and then there wasn't the kind of the coercive power to prevent farmers from kind of planting their fields. And so there was a huge surge from 2001 onwards, and it kept going up year by year. And when the Taliban took over, they replaced. They took over in 2021 from the democratically elected government. Soon after, they imposed another ban, and it's been held now for 2 years.
Is this a complete ban? Because this might be misinformation, but what I've heard is that the Taliban have gained control over all poppy fields, and they're sort of the ones running this drug trade. But that's not true.
Well, I think this is contested, all right? I mean, so when the first ban came along, it's definitely the case that they stopped cultivation. But there was a lot of storage of, there was a lot of opium stocks in the country. So the traders did very well. The prices went up, and the traders...
Wait, they even have derivatives on poppy seeds, or...
Well, there's a kind of supply and demand kind of issue. I mean, this is one of the perverse effects of kind of either cutting back on production or completely stopping it. Clearly, the price will go up. It's a very sophisticated system that's adapting to changes in supply and so on. So yeah, the supply went up, so traders benefited. People argue a similar thing is happening now, that the people who obviously are suffering the most are the poor farmers who have had to stop production, but major traders have benefited as the prices have gone up. I mean, there are questions now about how long such a ban can be sustained. I suppose what is the difference between the Taliban and the previous regime is the Taliban have control over the whole of the country, and they have the power to prevent dissent and to intimidate people. But yeah, in the longer term, there are some major structural factors that are, in terms of livelihoods, in terms of the effects of climate change and on the environments as well, that are going to make it very hard to sustain that ban unless there's some kind of, because the other part of this is, although there are major problems with the international community's response, impact and programs in Afghanistan, there was a lot of money coming into that economy, whether through aid programs, whether through military contracts. A lot of it's kind of led to kind of corruption and supporting patrimonial networks. But there was a lot of money in the country, and so that's not there anymore. So it's a complicated set of kind of calculations about what impact this ban is going to have in the longer term.